This is the majority. That's why I wanted to do it at this point here. I'm going to take another product and what's understood out there in the industry. Set this off to one side for just a second. And I want to turn this thing on. Now this is pretty acceptable out there on the market, that the thicker and the heavier that you get in viscosity gives you better protection. Oftentimes they'll use, you might go to an automotive store and you'll see little wheels on the counter, and it'll take real thick, heavy lubrication and take it to the top of the wheel on one side and not so far on. And what I'm going to do is move this bearing over to another smooth spot. Our last wear spot is right here. There we go. And I have another smooth spot, and we'll take a look, and you can't even see you can't even see the wheel now. It's so thick and heavy, and I'll give it the same 7 seconds, but watch how quickly that the smoke comes off, because thermal protection, the thicker that you get oil, the harder it is to protect. Now watch what happens to the smoke coming off the bearing now. 1001, 1002, 1003, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I know you've seen this product work on counters, and it just takes just a fingerful of pressure, and the more that you touch it, I mean, the little more heat, and it just goes upside down. Now, in this very, very short amount of time, you can now see the exposure of the race on that real thick and heavy. I barely got it to 100 degrees. I can hold my finger in there. And that real thick and heavy, gooey, syrupy, it's gone. And the hotter that it gets, your temperature is going to run in excess of 200 degrees. Your thermostat will keep your engine running well over 200 degrees. So this is technology that you see on a counter working at 75 degrees. And let's take a quick look on what actually happened to it. You can see again that you have an excessive wear spot, and you see how rough it is. Now I want you to focus on that one. It looks almost identical to this one right here. If the camera can pick that thing up. It's all pretty jagged and rough. I'm going to leave that thing there, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean this thing out just for a second, and then we're going to go and add our technology to this. And there are all kinds of products that are available out there on the market, and one of them I'd like to show you, one that you've probably seen. It taunts a Teflon technology, and it's made by DuPont, and actually it's branded as what they call PTFEs, Teflon. And that refers to is polytetrafluoroethylene, closed-pore resin plastics made by DuPont. And I want to clean this thing off so you don't have any questions whatsoever that a residue from another product was left behind. But what I want to show you, you see all this white stuff at the bottom? That's your PTFEs, and I'm going to turn this thing upside down. You see that running back and forth? Now, if this gets caught up in your oil galleries in your engine, you've got some serious problems. Again, in this technology, there is no magnesium, zinc, graphites, Teflons, PTFEs. And while I'm here at the moment, while I'm explaining that, this technology that you've seen is wrapped up. This is a finished product, one of our several finished products. This is our engine life treatment. I like to put it in a clear beaker because, as you can see, there is no solids, no magnesium, zinc, graphites, Teflons, PTFEs, no solids. The biggest thing is it does not void any warranties whatsoever. This is a beautiful product in its performance and its color, and so we haven't lost track here. I'm going to put the base product. Real good product. There's nothing wrong with this product. I'm back, and I'll hold this thing here to our last warm spot there, okay? And I'll put that on there, and just so you remember where this product stopped, right here with a fingerful of pressure. Now, what we're asking you to do, in this case here, in the engine oil treatment, and this also works in diesel and in gasoline, it works in petroleum and in synthetics. This product here is going to be added at 10% to the volume. I want you to listen to the noise. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of this technology and this would be like pointed into your crankcase. Now listen to the noise difference. We got the squealing and so on, so we have just a little bit of product. And here's the secret to this technology. This is a polarized product, and the hotter that you get it, the better it works. It's sucked right into friction. This is a bonding lubricant working with flowing lubricants. And just as you could see, poured a little bit out of that beaker. We try to get 10%, and we can sit there and pull on this thing, and you've got incredible performance of Extreme Pressure Lubricants Plus. This is Pro1. And in this very short amount of time, I'm going to give it here just a few seconds, and this would take probably 1,000 miles on gasoline and probably 2,000 or 3,000 miles on a diesel, because the components inside that diesel are a little bit harder. But as if you can focus on this, you have worn parts in your vehicle. You may have 20,000, 30,000 miles. You could have a couple of 100,000 miles on your gas, or maybe 600,000 or 700,000 on your diesel. We take worn parts in there and create harder, smoother, and now you can see that this is polished. Now, what we're going to do, and then you can see the roughness of this one over here, and you can see, yep, across the light, how that's all polished now. And the longer that you use it, the better it works. Now, this will also help extend your oil change. Let me give you an example on the diesels. I'm going to refer to a 18-wheeler going down the road. Most of those rigs have 44 quarts or 11 gallons. You're going to put in 10%, which is 1 gallon. And when I talk about extending the oil change, let's take an average around 16,000 miles on an over-the-road rig. With this technology, you can extend it, that 16,000 minimum, up to 20 to 22,000. And how we do this is through TBN, total base number oil analysis. Very, very important. Now, what we've done since our last, we polished up a very worn spot, and what we're going to do now is we have a brand new spot, and we have our technology mixed with a good base lubricant. And this is about 10%, and all of the lubrication so far has stopped right here. But you notice that the amp gauge went way over to the other end, okay? Now I'm going to put a little more pressure, and then a little more pressure, and then a lot more pressure, and I know what? I'm at the very end of the numbers at 200,000 pounds per square inch, and you can see that the amp gauge, we're barely at 8 amps. Okay, with all that excessive pressure, the performance, you would expect a deep gouge in here, and this is what we're very, very happy to present to you, is Extreme Pressure Lubricant Plus by Pro1 Lubricants, Extreme Pressure Lubricants. This is your performance. That little tiny dot that you see is 50 times 4,000 pounds in regular lubricants and 200,000 pounds with 10% of this added to it.